celebrating Africa's rich cultural heritage.
Good day, viewers out there. You are on to the community news on ABN Television. I am Moyoluwa Ajewole. First, the headline. Minister donated 50% of March salary to tackle COVID-19 in Nigeria. Osun totally shut down in the state. Former President Obasanjo donated building as isolation center. Nigeria has recorded 81 cases of COVID-19, with 1 death and 3 discharged as at March 27, 2020. This has led the 43 ministers in Nigeria to donate 50% of their March 2020 salaries to support the federal government to combat the COVID-19 pandemic across the country. Meanwhile, the amount of the 50% was not disclosed. A statement in Abuja on Saturday stated that the Minister of State for Transportation, Senator Mirisola Saraki, will coordinate the donation. This statement was quoted by Senator Saraki, saying it was a gesture of solidarity and support for the federal government to tackle the virus. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, further quoted Senator Saraki by saying this will facilitate early solution to the outbreak. Meanwhile, the epidemic outbreak COVID-19, popularly known as coronavirus, has increased daily throughout the world. With the current update from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has led the federal government President Muhammadu Buhari to declare a state of emergency throughout the federation. This has also made the state government of Osun State, Governor Gboyega Oyetola, to shut down gatherings such as church, school, offices, mosque, market, and house of assembly to curb the spread of the deadly virus within the state. In view of this, our reporter went out to get people's views and opinions. In an interview with the Bishop of Methodist Church Osogbo, who is also the chairman of Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) Osogbo chapter, made known that the measure taken by the federal and state governments is a very good decision, which will help reduce the spread of the virus. He also applauded the state government for providing an isolation center in the state. He said that the shutdown of churches is not an avenue for Christians to stop praying, but to be fervent in prayers, that God will answer prayer anywhere they are praying from. He urged members to continue to pay their dues into the church account because the church is also a labor force which also pay workers' salaries.
I think this is not the first experience of having pandemic. Ebola came to Nigeria, and by the grace of God and through the efforts of medical practitioners and divine intervention of God, we overcame. Lassa fever also emerged, and I'm sure we have also overcome Lassa fever. So this is time of COVID-19, alias coronavirus. I'm very sure that as God is on our side, and with the effort of well-meaning Nigerians, the medical practitioners, the technologists, we will surely overcome coronavirus. Concerning the close down of many public places as it affects the church, or do I say religion, well, we cannot say no, because we know that the close down is in the interest of the masses. The more we distance ourselves in social gathering, the more we stay indoor, the more safe we will all be in Nigeria. And so I want to say that it is difficult for us as religious leaders to shut down church, but because of life, safety of life is more important than any other thing. So because we believe that the building is not the church, human beings are the church. So myself, my wife, and my children, we can stay indoor in our own house, pray to God, worship God, seek for His mercy, and we know that He will surely have mercy upon us and have mercy upon Nigeria and the state of Osun in particular.
He also said the association has been having meetings on social media on how to create awareness and necessary precautions to be taken by the members and Christian folks. The chairman admonished the Christians to call the attention of necessary body when they notice anybody just arriving from outside the country and should abide by the rules of staying at home. He also said the government should provide aid such as sanitizers, face masks across the country because not everybody can afford them.
The church leaders have come to the to agreement. Number one, we commend the federal government and the state government of the state of Osun for their proactive measures which were taken to at least limit or if not outrightly stop the spread of coronavirus. We want to commend the government for providing isolation centers where infected people can be taken to and where people can be quarantined. Then for the measures put in place to create awareness, because that is most important. Because the Bible says, my people die because of lack of knowledge. So people need to be informed. We want to thank the government for placing it on radios, on dailies here and there, and meeting and taking resolutions on behalf of the good citizens of this nation. Like the closure of all the public places, or most of the public places in Nigeria, just as I said, to us as church leaders, we brainstormed, what do we do? Because we know if you shut down churches, you must not shut down prayers. Prayer is needed. We need God to exist. Without God, we cannot exist. And we need prayers to surmount and overcome this pandemic. So we have asked our people to pray in their homes. Let individual families meet, pray from their homes to God, and we know that God will hear us.
A medical practitioner in person of Dr. Olayewaju Adeshola also gave his own view and advice to the citizens and government on how to curb the spread of the virus within the country.
The initial part of my comment, I said that the organism spread commonly by airborne. It's a kind of airborne infection. So we believe that at least as you are looking at me now, every citizen supposed at least to have a face mask or a mouth mask, otherwise called a mouth mask, at least to have it fixed as I am talking to you now. And so this will prevent contact with airborne viruses. So and also when and there are another way that the citizens can help prevent the spread is that well, if one can just keep a total hygienic condition for every individual, like anytime you sneeze, you try and wash your hand with soap and water, and then you use hand sanitizers as frequently as possible. Through that, one will be able to at least reduce the spread. And to the government, we only employ the government to please make sure that all these sanitizers are made available in the country, and all our hospitals, whether tertiary, secondary, or primary, should be well equipped to combat the spread.
Moyoluwa Ajewole, ABN TV News, Osun State, Nigeria. The Enugu State government has confirmed 2 positive cases of coronavirus COVID-19 in the state. This case was confirmed from a returnee recently from the overseas who voluntarily contacted the State Ministry of Health on his arrival from the United Kingdom and requested for the COVID-19 test, which came out positive. The state government, Lawrence Ifeanyi, expressed his gratitude to the patient and urged all other returnees to do the same. The Permanent Secretary urged the general public not to panic as health personnel has been positioned to respond to the situation. He called on all the residents to observe high level of personal hygiene, maintain the social distance protocol, and stay at home. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo on Friday announced that his former residence at Presidential Hilltop, Abeokuta, Ogun State, has been released for the use of isolation center for victims of the deadly coronavirus disease. Obasanjo said the 32-room facility has been handed over to the Ogun State government for immediate takeover. The Nigerian police has rewarded the families of late officers who has risked their life for the country in their line of duties. This exercise was carried out in line with the welfare package from the federal government from the retired and fallen heroes of Nigeria Police Force. Our reporter Moyoluwa Ajewole has the details. Nigerian police reward families of late officers who has lost their life through natural or accident caused in their line of duty. Presenting checks to the families, AIG in charge of Zone 11, Bashir Makama, said although the rewards may not replace the lost souls, but will caution the brunt of hardship on their families if judicially used. AIG Bashir Makama says the exercise is in line with the federal government welfare package for the retired and fallen officers in the service of Nigeria Police Force. He stressed that the force police to roll out more of the gestures to alleviate plight of relations of dead officers who had served the nation diligently.
The government's welfare package that is meant to be benefited by members of the force either as retirees or as fallen heroes. In this case, most of the recipients this afternoon are next of kin and relatives of those who have paid the supreme price in one way or another, either by natural cause or accidental cause or even in the line of duty. So it is a package, welfare package that is meant to be given to deceased family members so as to reduce the brunt of hardship that deceased relatives normally face. And this, of course, if you find out, some of these deceased persons must have died for quite some time now, but ultimately the benefits are just coming out and their relatives are here to collect them. We know it might not pay for the life, but it will go a long way to soothe some of these pains. Of course, the lives have been lost, but that same life has to continue. So those they have left behind, we continue to wish them well and also pray that their souls departed rest in perfect peace. Everybody knows that times are hard, and then any little money that comes in should be used judiciously, should be used in such a way that it will impact on children. We have school fees are there, homes are meant to be catered, foods are there, so many means of livelihood. All we are asking is that whatever the amount is, no matter how little it is, it will be good if it is properly and judiciously used for the betterment of the whole family. We've given as many as 23, except one person who didn't come. So 22 of them have received various sums ranging from 8 million, 4 million, 1 million and down like that.
The beneficiaries, who try to conceal their emotions, lauded the police and the federal government for the gestures and wished for more of it.
Development, and it means that the police force and the federal government really appreciate their serving and the past of their personnel. So I will say is a good thing, and I pray that it continues. Due to we don't like this kind of gathering, but life has to go on because everyone surely must die one at some point. So we just pray to Almighty Allah to just grant them mercies in their graves, and alhamdulillah for the families. I won't say everything is smooth, but things are okay with the help of God. And the police force, they really tried. Even before this, they really tried for my family. So I will keep on thanking God.
The 22 of them went home with checks ranging from 500,000 naira and above. Moyeoluwa Ajewole, ABN TV News, Osun State, Nigeria. The famous hip-hop musician David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, has disclosed on Friday evening, March 27, 2020, through his Instagram account that his fiancé Chioma Roland has been tested positive to the deadly disease COVID-19. He said he went for the test on Wednesday after cancelling his tour in the United Kingdom and decided to go for the test with his associate and fiancé, who has just returned from London with their baby. But the result came out only Chioma tested positive, even without her showing any sign of the virus. He said she is presently being quarantined, and he has also gone into isolation for the minimum of 14 days. Meanwhile, he urged the citizens to stay at home to avoid the spread of the virus. And that was the end of the community news on ABN TV. I am Moyeoluwa Ajewole. Thanks for listening. Good day.